You got a few minutes, guys?
Yeah, you know what? We got some time.
You got a few minutes?
Yeah, we got
Should
time.
we go to the couch?
No, it's okay.
No, you're good? Okay.
Sorry. I might go to the couch and lie on it as a New Yorker. I've seen a lot of Jet losses in my days, guys, but I've never seen one really as bad as the one that I saw yesterday. 1-7 they are now. A 6-turnover game. They're supposed to bring in Percy Harvin in week number 8 at 1-6 for various reasons. The offense can't move it a lick. The quarterback doesn't have receivers that can get open. And you have to bring in somebody dynamic. Okay, I get it. You also wonder if Geno Smith is your guy. So what better way to evaluate him over the final 9 weeks than by bringing in Percy Harvin? And the evaluation of Geno Smith with Percy Harvin coming into the National Football League's New York Jets franchise lasted all of 11 and a half minutes. As Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions in his first 3 possessions yesterday against the Buffalo Bills and had to get pulled from the game. There's no question about it. He had to get pulled from the game, and they put in Michael Vick, who without question wasn't prepared for it. He turns the wrong way on a couple of times and on a couple of handoffs, one of which led to him having to improvise and then fumbled the football. Another one actually led to a Bilal Powell score. Go figure. But the quarterback situation is an utter mess. Percy Harvin comes on the team and plays a position outside that clearly he wants to play as opposed to a slot receiver position where Seattle was putting him, and it turned into a disaster. One of the interceptions that Geno Smith threw was Percy Harvin going straight down the sideline, and he tried to force him the football. 11 and a half minutes Geno Smith lasted in week number 8. And there's no way that you can go back to him right now. So it's now Michael Vick's team moving forward, and that's the point of why in the world do you bring in Percy Harvin at all? What's the point of bringing him in? Unless you want to keep fans engaged. At 1-6, it's now 1-7. And everybody wants to blame Rex Ryan. Let me tell you something about this. Despite all of those interceptions that happened yesterday in the first quarter of the game, the Jets were down 7-0. They were down just by 1 touchdown at halftime. The one thing that this team does not do is quit on Rex Ryan. And defensively, he doesn't have the bullets to do what he wants to do. The general manager brought in no defensive backs for him in the offseason, with the exception of somebody who went AWOL on the team in the 3rd preseason game. You bring in Eric Decker to be a number 1 receiver when he hasn't been one anywhere else. You bring in Chris Johnson, and they don't even give him the football. When asked what he thought of Geno Smith's play yesterday, Chris Johnson said, according to one report, "I can't say it. I don't be in the game," is what CJ2K said. It's a total mess on the offensive side of the football. And now you take a look at the New York Post back page on Monday morning, and they want Rex Ryan fired. Why in the world would you want to fire this guy? Is it really his fault that the offensive side of the football is a complete mess? It's the fault of the general manager trying to put all of these pieces together. And to be very honest with you, with all due respect, it's the fault of the owner who will not give the coach a long enough contract in order to attract an offensive coordinator worthy enough of running an offense in the National Football League. Norv Turner's available. He goes to Minnesota. He goes to Cleveland and then goes to Minnesota. In the 2 years that Rex Ryan, one of the best defensive minds in the business, could use an offensive hand like Norv Turner. Why isn't Norv Turner going to New York City? I'll tell you why. Why in the world would anybody want to go to a coaching staff that could get turned over at any point in time? No coach is going to pack up himself, or in the case of other young coaches, his family, kids, wives, and sign with a team that doesn't commit to the head coach. That's just not going to happen. And now the general manager is being evaluated. At some point, you've got to get yourself a general manager, a coach, and a quarterback that you've evaluated in the non-playing season, so when the playing season hits, you're not 1-7. Now they go to Kansas City. I'm trying to pick up the Chiefs' defense in fantasy because guess what? They're handing out turnovers like it's Halloween. They're going to be 1-8. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop talking about the Jets on this show. Because we're not sitting here ranting about the 1-7 Jacksonville Jaguars, are we? They're 1-7. They are 1-7. The general manager, John Izek, is meeting with the media in less than an hour. Now, everybody's wondering, oh, they're going to fire Rex Ryan. This is, from what we are told, an already planned mid-season meeting between the general manager and the members of the media that are there with a fork and a knife and a napkin tucked in their shirt, ready to eat this man alive. Every single thing has proven to be a disaster, with the exception of Sheldon Richardson, since this guy's come on board. This kid has been great. But D. Milner can't stay on the field. Can't stay on the field. Jason Morrow cannot catch any passes right now. He's dropping half of them. The tight end that they drafted in the second round. And Geno Smith's a disaster. It's official. There is no way that this guy can come back on the field for the Jets this year. This is Michael Vick's team to try and win as many games as possible to save the job of Rex Ryan, which may be unsavable at this point. And at that point, if I'm an owner of the team, I'm calling up, and maybe Rex wants a head coaching job. I don't know if he's going to get it. But he's one of the more brilliant defensive coaches you could see around. And the one thing the Jets don't do on this guy is quit. 1-7. A disaster.
You think you bring up great points about Turner and other guys, but they did bring in Marty Morningwig, who's no slouch, has no seed. But I'm assuming they didn't let him pick the groceries, right?
With due respect, and I'm sure he regrets this, Marty Morningwig is a head coach who won the toss in overtime once when he was with the Lions and deferred. And he was with the Eagles. Andy Reid didn't take him to Kansas City, did he?
No, that's true.
When Andy Reid got a fresh start in bringing his West Coast style of offense to Kansas City, where Alex Smith is coming on board, he didn't bring Marty with him. And some of these, and Rich Gannon calling the game, he was mystified at how Michael Vick did not look prepared. He even said that in San Diego when Geno Smith couldn't move the offense past the 50-yard line and they were shut out. And Rex Ryan puts Michael Vick in the game, who said afterwards, essentially, I wasn't prepared. This is a veteran quarterback.
He's not getting the reps either. I mean, you still should know the playbook. You should know which way to turn on a handoff. But if you're getting no reps during the week, that's a tough spot to.
Of course it is.
To go into.
Of course it is. But there were times where he was showing all 22s, and I'm sitting next to Mariucci, who knows this offense very well, being the West Coast maven that he is, saying that he's throwing in the wrong spots. He's throwing to receiver number 3 in his progression when hitting his back foot, and receiver number 1 is coming across the middle. Rex is laughing on the sidelines sometimes. He's trying to let his smile be his umbrella. 1-7. We're done talking about this team unless they go ahead and make a coaching move or they win several in a row. Because we're not going to be this type of show that focuses on an East Coast team just because we've got that bias. We're not that.
I wrote that down. 12:43.
Okay, good.
Why would I talk about
Eastern.
a 1-7 team?
Easter. I'm just writing it down.
The only reason why I'd be talking about the Jets this week is the Kansas City Chiefs need to beat them in order to keep pace in a division that they've got the Broncos and the Chargers in front of them. Write it down. Write it down.
We got it.
Got it.
How long was that? What was the over-under you guys had last night?
It started at 7 minutes. The Jet rant was going to go on, and then
we bumped it up
in
to
the production
like 10.
meeting when you went 4.5 minutes just in the production meeting. We said 10.5.
The name being bandied about in the New York papers today is Kotite.
Kotite bad.
And we had Bobby Cannavale, the actor, big-time Jet fan, on our podcast, talking about how bad the Jets. He's a huge Jets fan, and he came up with the phrase when I said that they could be bad, and you mean Kotite bad? He calls it Kotite bad, which, by the way, is the name of my fantasy team in the Garland League that just boat raced the competition yesterday to go 4-4 in the fantasy league. That's why I'm a little bit up. But they're talking about how bad this is to fall to 1-7 in a 6-turnover game at home. You're trying to evaluate this quarterback. You're putting your eggs in this quarterback basket. You start Geno Smith all 16 games the previous year, and you start him every single game this year, even though many people thought you go to Vic earlier, you coach him up, you get him repped up, and you put him in, you save the season in a manner in which the Bills went ahead and said, you know what, we've spent a first-round pick on our guy, E.J. Manuel, and what we're going to do is we're going to bench him in his second year and bring in Kyle Orton, who we signed off the street in late August. We're going to try and save our season that way. Sammy Watkins on just the previous segment says that Kyle Orton is there and is being a leader when they're up and when they're down. And they're 5-3 after waxing the Jets in New Jersey. And you stick with Geno Smith and say we're going to evaluate him. And within 3 possessions of bringing in Percy Harvin, 11 and a half minutes, he is done. You can't go back to him. And the way Vic was playing, running around and getting smoked and hit, we thought, here comes Geno Smith again. And I'll go on the record and say right here, you're going to see yourself some Phil Simms kid, Matt Simms. You're going to see him.
Yeah.
You're going to have to see him. Why not evaluate him at this point in time when you're 1-7?
So Geno Smith went full Blutarski yesterday, a 0.0 passer rating. He has 31 interceptions and 24 career starts.
Yeah, you don't see it. You don't see any Facebook photographs of the Jets quarterback with his supermodel wife holding up a 5 and a 1.
So he's done. New starting quarterback.
You sir.
Well, I've been very quiet during this segment,
You are
Rich.
a Patriot fan.
I've been very quiet.
Who is just loving life.
I've been very
Bill
quiet.
Belichick is sitting up in his office in New England, lighting a cigar, hands behind his head like Red Auerbach, kicking back and loving life, just like that. Get to break.